Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Miss Sue, the woman behind Little Baby Campus. And if you are new to my channel, welcome in. Come on in. Today I wanted to discuss something with my home daycare providers. I'm a home daycare provider. I have been doing this service for the last 13 years. And I am also author of Overcoming Daycare Burnout, Steps to Living Your Very Best Daycare Life. But today I wanted to talk to my fellow home daycare providers because that's where my heart is. That's what I do. I'm down in that with you. You know, I work at the daycare by myself. So, hey, I am with you. I am with you every step of the way because that's what I do. I change the diapers. I do the meals, every single thing. I work by myself and I take care of 6 children. I have 2 children for myself, but I take care of 6 children by myself. So I'm down in the grind with you. I'm working it with you. But guess what? Today I wanted to show up and talk with my daycare providers about owning the fact that you are an entrepreneur. Some people do not see themselves as an entrepreneur. We're business owners, daycare provider, daycare owner. You own your business. So you have the rights of your business. So you are an entrepreneur. Now, as an entrepreneur, how do you show up? Do you think you are worth commanding the money that you charge? Or do you see yourself as, I'm not so sure I should charge that amount of money. What if, I don't think I'm going to get the clients, I don't know. If you're new and starting off your daycare business, I understand. I was there a couple years ago or a decade ago. I was right there, not being sure of what to charge, how much to charge. And guess what? I used to compare myself with the other daycares in the community and say, but if they're charging this, then who's going to come to me? When you're just starting off, I get it. Many of us walked that walk and did all of that. But my message is for daycare providers who have been in the business for, say, over 5 years. Seeing yourself as an entrepreneur and showing up as an entrepreneur and commanding the money that you know you are worth. Because your skills that you had when you were new in the business, like a year ago or 2 years ago, is different from the skills that you have when you've been in the business for a couple of years. Am I right? You know that. Who you are in the business starting off is different from where you end up later on in life. Some of us start off our business not even having a degree. But while we're on that journey working with children and we realize that we have a passion for it, we go and we get the degree. I was one of those people. I didn't have a degree starting off. I had an associate's degree. I didn't have a bachelor's degree when I started off my daycare. But while I was working my daycare, I went to school and I got it. I have the knowledge. We're always gaining knowledge. Now, how do you show up in your community as an entrepreneur, and how do you command the money that you know you are worth? Not think, but you know you are worth. What makes you different? In my neighborhood, we have many daycares. I have one up the road, one down the road, one across the road. We have like maybe 5 or 6 different daycares just in my little vicinity, in my little community. What makes me different? For one, I have a nature school. We do a lot of messy play. And I operate a non-traditional school that is not boxed in. It's a play-based environment. So my daycare is a little bit different from the traditional daycares around. What makes you different? Are you known for the person who serves organic meal? Are you known for the person who sits down and when the child goes to kindergarten, they are quote unquote kindergarten ready? What is that? But kindergarten ready? What are you known for? What sets you different? What sets you apart? Are your children known as the children who wear uniforms to school? What is it that makes you different? Are you known as a daycare that operates and what you call it, like after school programs? Do you do before school programs? What is it that makes you different from Jenny, Lou, Janet, and Patricia? So my message today is for my daycare providers, again, that is what I do. That's dear to my heart. I have been a daycare provider for over 13 years. It's what I do. I'm in the trenches with you. I work this business by myself 5 days per week. And I know. Stand in your confidence. Stand in that confidence, knowing that you know what you are worth. There are some daycare providers who charge this, some charge this, some charge this. I may be one of those who charge this. I won't discuss what I charge, but I know I'm worth it. I know that when a child comes to my daycare, they will leave my daycare transformed. Curiosity, awe, they will see the world as different. They will see the world in a bright, new way, because each lesson packs on and it stacks and it stacks and it stacks, and they explore. And there's so much learning that happens within my daycare, even though I operate a non-traditional daycare. You know, so brand yourself. When you have clients that come in for an interview, what are the questions you're asking them? They interview you, but you should interview them too. It's a two-way street. When you have an interview, you can't be ziplock about what you do and who you are. Who are you? Why is it that your fees are this when others are this? Who are you? What is it that you're doing different that makes someone want to send their child to you? Remember, we're an entrepreneur. We provide a service and we expect to be compensated for that service. And that compensation must be money that you know you can pay your bills with. This is not charity. We're not operating a charity. There's no charity in you being a daycare owner. We all know the problems that we go through with operating a daycare. And I'm not talking about children or family problems. I'm talking about within the confines of our home, whether it is plumbing issues, whether it is the dishwasher that went out, the toilet that the flushable wipes stopped up, whether it is just you get up in the morning and it's dead winter and the heat is not working, and woof, there's no daycare if the heat not working in the winter. Whether it's not having AC when you are in an era where the temperature is like 100 degrees, there's no daycare when the children can't be comfortable. So we all know what I'm talking about, you know. So it is standing truth in that conviction, knowing that you know what you're worth and that you can communicate that with your clients on your interview. You can communicate that with your community and they know who you are. You can't be wishy-washy. Now, if you're, again, just starting out your daycare, I understand that, because sometimes, you know, you have to compare the fees and say, well, I want the client, you know, so I have to really, you know, go low on the price so that the clients can come in. But when you already set up yourself in the marketplace and people know you and they know who you are, and especially if you have like a social or what you say, an internet presence, and people know who you are, word of mouth, people in the church know who you are, people in the community know you are, people in your children's school know who you are, then it is time for you to shine. Shine your light, baby, shine your light, you know, and do not be afraid to show up. Do not be afraid to speak and tell them who you are and why a child should come to your daycare and the transformation that will happen to that child when they come to your daycare. Why are you different from Janet, Patricia, Olivia, and anybody else out there? One of the things that I say to my daycare providers in my consultation sessions is, Your clients come to you because of you, not because of your co-teachers or your assistants. Again, I'm talking to people who operate a daycare from home. You operate in the confines of your home. I'm not talking about those who have childcare centers and are out there in like a commercial space. You operate from your home. And most of us, we know, work by ourselves. So we know we already work by ourselves and everything. So it's just, I even lost my train of thoughts because that's how my head is. What was I saying a while ago? Know the amount of money that you charge, know how to speak to your clients, know what questions to ask them when you're interviewing, have the children present when you're doing interviews also, have more than one interview so you can have the goodness of fit, so that the clients that you take in your space is also fitting your philosophy, your mission, and what you stand for. Because if you have families and children who are going against the grain, that's where you have conflicts, that's where you have challenges, and at times you even question whether or not you want to do this. And for you to show up the best version of you, you need to have really good days, like a strong amount of good days than bad days, you know. And at times we may have one client that just makes everything. You know, that one client sometimes that just make you question, whew, everything. So in order for you to avoid making a couple mistakes, I would say to my daycare providers is to know who you are. What service will you be creating? Everybody who knock on your door is not fit for your program. Choose who comes through your program. Choose, make good choices. And I'm not saying that you're going to be biased or anything like that, but because you are one person, you must be able to know your capacity. You must be able to know what you are capable of doing and not what you can and what you can't do. Also, choose the children that come into the ages of the children that comes into your care also. If you're a home daycare provider, you know, if you have very young ones, you know, they're wrapping your feet. It's a lot of changing the diapers. It's a lot of tending to. Whereas if you have like the preschool agers, it's totally different. So we must be able to operate knowing that we have the freedom of choice. And I'm hoping that you do, because I know sometimes we're backed into a corner and we really don't have a choice as to the ages, because we really need that income. And I know that because I've been there before, where I need the income so much that I didn't have a choice. But if you have a choice and you really can choose the ages, stagger the ages, like maybe you have one infant at 18-month-old, then you have the 24s or the 30 months old, and you know, in a way that you can handle all those children by yourself. Again, my conversation today is not for a child care center. That's not what I know. I don't know child care centers. I don't know the commercial space. I don't know the commercial industry. I am speaking to home daycare providers, child minders, home daycare providers. That means you provide the service inside the confines of your house. And I'm also speaking to those who really work by themselves, because I'd say maybe 70% of us as childcare daycare providers, family daycare providers, work by ourselves inside of our house. Yeah. So again, my message today is, if it made sense or if I just rat on, because I have a way of rambling on, and that's just how my brain works and my personality. But is brand yourself. What makes your daycare different from Janet, Lou, Mary? And tap into that, and do not be afraid. Be unapologetic in who you are. Let the community know who you are. Let Facebook know who you are. Let Instagram know who you are. Let your church members know who you are. Let them know the service that you provide, so you can always have an influx of clients knocking on your door for you to be selective in who comes in and who rattles your nerves. And if it is not working out, I mean, we're positive people and we always want to work knowing that we did the best that we could for the family and the child. But if something is not working or this relationship, because when you talk about daycare, we talk about families. I always refer to my clients as daycare families because it's a relationship that we have. And just like any other relationship, there are some times when it's not working out where we just have to part ways, and for each to be better or for it to be beneficial, we need to part ways. It's the same thing with our daycare families. Sometimes it doesn't work in a way that brings harmony, light, the energy isn't there, and the problems are just too much. So sometimes it's just good to sever ties and say, okay, it's not a fit for my program. I'm sorry, I tried, but however you want to word it, because that's one of the things also as entrepreneurs, we must be able to speak and we must be able to know diplomacy. So it's something that should flow from your tongue or research away that is not going to be a full impact, a full blow to your clients. Yeah. So again, my message today for my daycare providers and is to show up knowing that you are an entrepreneur. This is your business. Own it. Own your business. It is your business. And when you operate your business, you're operating it with the purpose of getting compensated. And that compensation is money. You know? So don't play who you are. Do not think that you need to be the lowest daycare provider on the block. Know your value and stand in that value. Stand in that conviction, knowing that you know your value, and you know your value, and you know when the children come to your daycare, they're gonna be leaving transformed. Yeah. So that's what I have to say. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. I am Miss Sue, the woman behind Little Baby Campus, and thanks for watching. Over and out, and see you on my next video. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye now.